So I saw a trend was going around in the Wings of Fire YouTube sphere where you get 20 questions and you have to answer all of them with your true personal opinions. I was actually tagged to do Warrior Cat's 20 questions a bit back, but I never got around to doing so I transferred what fandom I was doing. And this video was a result of that. I tag anyone who sees this video to do this challenge because honestly, I think everyone who I think of making do this video has already done it. And before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cat's content, so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Without further ado, let's move on to question 1. 1. How did you get into Wings of Fire? I was a first grader or so, which is around 6 or 7 years old for non-Americans, and I had an older friend who was in 4th grade or so. I noticed that she had these dragon books on her bookshelf, and back then there was only around 2 or 3 of them, and I asked her about it. She then showed me the tribes and explained them to me. I made my first OC, which I believe was either Sandwing or Nightwing. I didn't start reading the book series back then, but around 3rd grade I rediscovered the books in the library and started reading them for the first time. Ever since then I've been in the fandom and had my own OCs and read fanfiction. Number 2. Favorite arc. My favorite arc has to be the second one. I feel like every book was a banger and each character had their own purpose in a story and their own special moments. Darkstalker was also a fantastic antagonist. My only complaint about it is that Darkstalker Legends was published before Towns of Power, so it revealed that Darkstalker was truly evil too early and didn't leave any that benefited the doubt in his worst actions. Previously in the series, historians were proved to be unreliable because of the Nightwings not having any powers when they were reported to have them. So because of that, the reader doubts whether the historians' accounts of Darkstalker are real or not. I feel like that was something interesting and should have been held out for longer. Number 3. Favorite book excluding Legends or Winglets. My favorite main series book has to be Escaping Peril. I like how she's not like the other protagonists and isn't relaxed and well socialized, but is instead a ball of angry energy. Her book also wrapped up Scarlet's arc and Reign of Terror pretty well. Number 4. Favorite Legends and Winglets book. My favorite Winglets book unfortunately has to be Assassin. I like a lot about the book. I feel like it is perfectly self-contained. The only thing I dislike is that it changes to Age of Deathbringer. Question number 5. Favorite tribe? My favorite tribe has to be the Icewings. They are very unique compared to other tribes and they have a lot going for them. First of all, the tribal circles. Really cool and a great concept. It's especially fun when it comes to RPs of Wings of Fire, where you can actually rise up the ranks by completing tasks. I'm a tiny bit sad to see it go though. Second, Animus Dragons. The Icewings were the only tribe who were able to successfully prevent their Animus Dragons from going mad by tricking them to one gift. Besides the case of Queen Diamond and Prince Arctic. I wonder how an Animus in modern times would fare in their tribe. Third of all, and this is a minor detail, but I love their long-windedness. As a child, Winter was forced to memorize giant sagas. Icewings have villages with names like Bay where narwhals sing under Aurora, and I think that's absolutely amazing. Lastly, politeness. Icewings are perhaps the tribe most obsessed with politeness, and the only tribe that comes near that are the Seawings, who almost let their guards bleed to death rather than disturb them. They're pretty passive-aggressive and it's funny. Number 6. Favorite character. My favorite character, no surprises, is Sunny. She gets overlooked by other dragonettes in the beginning, but it doesn't hold her back, and she is the entire reason the war ended in my opinion. She's also very sympathetic to other dragons and open-minded. She was the founder who Moon felt the most comfortable talking to about mind-reading powers at the end of Moon Rising, and that is no surprise. At the other end, she's not afraid to do a bit of dirty work. She pretended to be Darkstalker in order to manipulate her captors in the Brightest Night, for example. Number 7. Least favorite character. No surprises here, it's Whirlpool. He's just, a slimy little eel. Eel probably should have been his name. Whirlpool is a way too good a name for him. Number 8. Most aesthetically pleasing dragon. Has to be an enemy. She has such good colors, and yes, she does look like the trans flag. Number 8. Favorite queen. My favorite queen has to be Thorn. She's pretty level-headed except for that one time she killed Prey Hunter. She's regal, diplomatic, but isn't afraid to get her claws dirty like her daughter. Speaking of that, she's also a great family woman, or family dragon. She cares for her biological daughter Sunny and also her adopted son Keebly. I wonder whether she tries to get back in contact with her ex-husband Stone Mover though. Number 10. Favorite villain. My favorite villain is Scarlet. She's the first villain we meet and is also the most long-living as she is alive from the first book to the 8th. whilst most other villains last the arc the most. This gives time for her to pop up here and there like a villain of the week in some cartoon show. She has no pathetic, sad backstory for what she does that makes you sympathize with her. She has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. She simply makes dragons kill each other in the arena because it distracts from her killing her own dragonettes. She has no empathy whatsoever. She's a girl boss in the truest way. As a side note, I can't read Scarlet's lines in my normal head voice anymore. It just gets translated to Cruella de Vil, and it gets even worse with lines like thrilling. This voice clean fits so well, I don't think anyone could find someone more fitting to be Scarlet. Number 11, favorite headcanon? My favorite headcanon is that sea wings aren't just one tribe, but instead are multiple. It makes no sense that the planet Draco is at least 70% water, but sea wings are restricted to just Puria. I feel like sea wings that we know aren't open sea wings, but are more coastal and tropical sea wings. Other sea wings exist, live their entire lives underwater, and have a hard time breathing air, and are open sea wings. That may just be me trying to inject my fan tribe splits into canon though. Number 12. Most overrated character? The most overrated character has to be, and I'm so sorry, but Darkstalker. 1/3 of maps and AMVs that have ever been done are about him. And I get why his personality is charming and his story hits all the right notes with what fandoms like. However, on the other hand, there are lots of good characters who haven't gotten a lot of attention, and only 5 or 6 maps depending on their importance to the plot. Number 13. Most underrated character? The most underrated character in the entire series is Flame. There's a lot going around in that head of his, and he's a pretty tragic story. He had a loving mother and was removed from her to take place in a prophecy that didn't even apply to him. He tried to follow orders and ended up permanently injured. Then he goes to Jade Mountain, but he doesn't get to settle down because of everything happening. Also, he may have been enchanted to kill Stone Mover, but that's unconfirmed, and he was in prison for it anyways. That's a lot of backstory that I don't see utilized. I actually made an AMV about him about 2 years back now to the song The Lion. I'm putting an image up on screen, but that art style is, I've improved a lot since then. Number 14, favorite minor character. My favorite minor character is Grandeur. She is the former queen of the Rainwings and grandmother to Glory. She appears to have a relationship with Handsome, but it can't be said whether they are actually together or not. There's a lot of potential to see more about her, as she's an older dragon who's observed much of Rainwing history. It was said Rainwings used to have to use their venom for protection. Maybe we will get to see that from Grandeur's point of view and figure out what they were defending from. Number 15, favorite pairing. It has been a hard journey of self-discovery. I do not like shipping that much, so I tend to be overly critical to all ships. But I think I found the perfect ship. It's amazing in all ways, and I think everyone when they hear about it will want to ship it. And that is Chameleon X himself. He's so self-absorbed, I don't think he could have anyone better than Chameleon. Number 16, least favorite pairing. I made 2 videos on one ship and both of them were negative towards it. But that's not the one I'm going to be talking about here. While I dislike that ship, I can recognize it's a no TP for me and I'm not hold against anyone who ships it. On the other hand, I've never met anyone who has shipped Riptide and Whirlpool who is not a freak. I'm sorry, but it's true. Whirlpool is such a freak of a character that shipping him with anyone is a red flag, but the only one I've seen him actually ship with is Riptide, so it goes on the list. Any Whirlpool ship goes on this list, actually. I just hate Whirlpool pairings in general, besides maybe Coral. Number 17, favorite friendship. My favorite friendship by far has to be the one that forms between Turtle and Moon. Both of them are anxious dragonettes who have a lot of power at their disposal. They're a bit hesitant about using their powers and are worried about becoming evil. There's a lot of similarities there and their friendship is great because of that. Number 18, favorite moment. My favorite moment in the entire series has to be when Darkstalker broke free from the mountain. It was so hype and I loved it. Number 19, most tragic death. The most tragic death in the books to me is Osprey. He was the only dragon who ever cared about Peril. He taught her how to read and loved her despite her faults, and Peril tried to save him out of instinct even though she knew she would just cause him pain and she failed and he died. Number 20, favorite battle/fight scene. My favorite fight scene is in the first book and it's the one between Peril and Clay. I have multiple reasons for this. First of all, the physical aspect. Peril has been able to fight and kill dragons for only one reason, her flame scales, and she's not very talented at fighting. Now that it doesn't work on a dragon she's fighting against, she's at a disadvantage as she's not very skilled. On the other hand, Clay has never been the best at fighting. However, because his opponent is inexperienced and untrained against those with fire resistance, and because he has been fighting dragons much stronger than him for his entire life, he actually manages to find a way to defeat her. Second of all, the emotional aspect. While they are fighting, Peril screeching at Clay that she only wanted love, and she can't let the one dragon who left who cares about her run away. Third of all, that ending! The moment that Peril realizes that Clay doesn't have any secondary special ability and Glory pops up, revealing herself as the Acid Sprayer and Wounds Queen's colorlet is iconic. I have seen so many good map parts of that moment, and I couldn't have chosen anything else because of that. So that's all of the 20 questions and my answers to them. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those who are already subscribed, thank you so much for your continued support. I wouldn't have gone here without y'all. Without further ado, peace out.